who better than me?
Welcome back to another episode of the Hardcore Casual with your boy, Base the Kid. Now, this is a rather impromptu episode because the next thing you were supposed to see on the channel was the Femme Files Volume 2. You still will be getting that tomorrow, but as there was some rather large news that came out yesterday, I figured it was only right I address it and talk about it. So, as I always say, please like and subscribe, share the vids. Last video's almost hitting 200 views, which is so far going to be the highest I've had previously. So thank you to everyone who shared that one out over the socials, Twitter, YouTube, WhatsApp, whatever. But yeah, without further ado, let me get into this one real quick. So, the most breaking news. Don King has just beat Frank Warren in a purse bid. I guess Frank wasn't drinking his furiosity because he didn't win this one. So Frank Warren put in a bid of 2.5 million, I think it's dollars, for the Trevor Bryan versus Daniel DuBois WBA Regular Heavyweight title fight. And Don King put in a bid of, I think it was 3.1 something million dollars. What does this mean? Well, this means that for once, Daniel DuBois is now going to be the away fighter on the card. It also means that the only way Daniel DuBois can guarantee himself victory in this fight is by knockout. That's not to say he can't outbox Trevor Bryan, but me personally, I know a lot of people don't really think this. However, I actually rate Trevor Bryan's boxing skills, his actual skills as a boxer. He's got a good jab, he's got pretty good movement. He hasn't got the greatest of pop, but he's got enough that you respect it. Now with Daniel, we already know he's had the eye issue. I definitely think Trevor Bryan would be able to land accurately on any part of the body he's aiming for and do it consistently, a la what Joe Joyce did. So it's not a foregone conclusion. I know some people think that Trevor Bryan's just like some dead fighter. He's actually a lot better than people give him credit for. His problem is that he doesn't come in condition these days. That being said, he's now going to be more active than he has been before. So maybe a lot more of the weight that he's been putting on over like the last 2 years, it might just naturally sort of come off just a little bit. I'm not expecting him to come in any body beautiful shapes anytime soon, but the more activity can only sharpen him up, because I do actually rate his skills, relatively speaking. Like, I don't think he's this, you know, this any guy that a lot of other people do claim him to be. But the interesting thing is going to be where this fight takes place. I think it has to take place by the 28th of July or somewhere along those somewhere along sort of that time frame. So I reckon it will probably happen towards the end of June. They're definitely gonna put this fight on in and around sometime that AJ's fighting next. I think if you find out when AJ fights, if AJ fights say at the start of June, this fight will be on like the week after or within 2 weeks, just to sort of piggyback off of that, you know, off of the AJ hype, which always sort of comes out in the division. Or if someone like Andy Ruiz has a fight sort of in and around that time, you're going to find this fight attached to another big heavyweight fight somewhere within that time frame, in my opinion. But it will be interesting to see exactly where Don King puts the fight. It will be interesting to see what type of venue they decide to go for, because I mean, a $3 million bid is still not chump change. Like, I don't know if he'd be able to recoup the money. It will be interesting, but yeah, look, you know what, salute to Don King. I mean, 90 years old like Bob, but you know what, he's still got it. And Frank, Gotta drink some more of that Furiosity, mate. Second bit of news is the Ukrainian minister has granted special dispensation to both Oleksandr Usyk and Vasiliy Lomachenko to be able to leave the Ukraine to train for upcoming fights should they so wish. So Lomachenko was heavily rumored to be the front runner for the George Kambosos fight, and Oleksandr Usyk, as we know, has the contractual rematch with Anthony Joshua for the Unified Heavyweight Championships of the world, WBO, IBF and WBA Super Championships. Now, from what I've already heard, Vasiliy Lomachenko's already turned it down and said he's not going anywhere until the war's over. Okay, can't fault him for that. Subsequently, I did see on Twitter a couple hours ago that Lou DiBella has now officially offered the fight to Devin Haney to go to Australia. So, I mean, I guess Lomachenko's lost his Haney's game, if that's how you want to drop it. I mean, to be honest, I think it was always supposed to be Haney and Kambosos. I think Lou was just trying to find ways to maximize whatever money they could make out of that, because all he kept saying was that there was no good offers coming from Matchroom, from Eddie, but I mean, there was no offers going the other way from all the support, all the reports that came out. So ultimately, I guess it's just a case of, you know, playing those cards close to your chest, just trying to eke out a little bit more of the deal. But we will see how that one transpires. Now, Usyk, as far as I'm aware now, has not stated whether he will leave or not. I mean, I'm assuming all of his family is still in the Ukraine, so maybe he wouldn't be prepared to leave to go to a training camp without all of them coming with him. And I don't know how that particularly works, but once he does make his decision, then I can give my take on that. But whatever the decision is, I support it. If he wants to stay there and fight for the country, I can't hate him on that one. Yep, no, you know, you get no objections from me. If he wants to go train and potentially, you know, do this fight and then go back to, you know, the situation over there, then hey, you could do that as well. I do think if he leaves, he could be leaving, quote unquote, for blood and for blood only. So he could end up finishing this second fight a lot more conclusively than the first one. And the first one was conclusive. But I'm going to leave that there up until such a time as that fight does get announced. But yeah, Vasiliy Lomachenko's turned it down thus far from the reports that have been had, but we don't know what's going on with Usyk just yet. But I'm sure we will find out in due course. Now, this is the big news. And usually I don't just immediately react, although I guess you can't really call this an immediate reaction, as it is, you know, technically what, 10 hours after it took place. However, so it's been made official. Joshua Buatsi will fight Craig Richards on the 21st of May this year, 2022. So far, the venue hasn't been announced, although here's the thing. I thought it would be at the O2 Arena, right? It makes perfect sense. However, I was given reports several weeks ago that the fight would not be taking place there. I was told obviously it's going to be in London somewhere, but it wouldn't be at the O2, it wouldn't be at the Copper Box, and it wouldn't be at Wembley Arena. That's what I was told. But to me, it doesn't make sense not to have it at the O2. To be honest, there's only one other venue that, as far as I'm concerned, a fight like this could be held, and that's Selhurst Park, Crystal Palace. because Craig Richards comes from Crystal Palace and Joshua Buatsi comes from Croydon, which is literally 10 minutes away. So the two of them, like 10 minutes away from the actual Selhurst Park itself. And then Richards is like, 10 minutes away in Crystal Palace. Like Selhurst Park and Crystal Palace are right by each other, essentially in locations for anyone who doesn't live in South London. And it's like, that venue, I think, holds about 25,000. I think you could get 25,000 in like Selhurst Park for a fight of this magnitude. Like the whole of South is basically invested in this fight. I mean, the whole of South who watches boxing, of course. But then obviously you've got North London, East London, some of West London. They don't like to travel that much. Then you've also got, maybe family from outside the ends as well. It's a very big fight on the ends. Like literally nothing outside of this has entered sort of my bubble. Even my friends who aren't that big on boxing are talking about this fight to me right now. So that shows me that this is sort of the fight that just takes, this takes over the South on the 21st of May. However, I do think it will end up being at the O2, and I can see it being a sellout. It will definitely fill the entire lower bowl of the O2. I probably would do the top as well. It's what is it? It's like 18 to 20,000 in there. I think it could do that, quite frankly, if I'm honest. Tickets ain't gonna be no crazy prices, so I'm looking forward to it. In terms of predictions and breakdowns, look, you'll get videos on that moving forward, but everyone knows that, as far as I'm concerned, like Craig is 1 or 2 light heavyweight in the country. Between him and Callum Smith, who obviously hasn't had a huge sample size there, but current former world champion, so you can't really discount him. But it looks like Craig's gonna have to take out the quote-unquote big dog of Matchroom in order to finally get given his status as the big dog, and to hopefully be pushed in the same way that a guy like Buatsi was pushed in the past. It's not just about giving someone like a title opportunity when they was really just the B-side. Like they weren't even supposed to be competitive. Realistically, they were supposed to be your champion's warm-up, and that's how he's been treated a lot throughout his Matchroom career. But after putting on certain performances, people have to take note, and him being just a fun character anyway, he's got a good bounce. All of these things just lend themselves to finally maybe getting that shine. And ultimately, look, Craig's not a young guy anymore. So he's in his prime ages right now. This is the time when it's time to push him. So he has to make a statement in this fight. And if he does that, there can't be any excuses for him not getting the fights he wants moving forward. That's not to discount Buatsi. He is the golden child for a reason, or was the golden child, I should say. I don't know exactly what his standings are right now, but obviously being with 258 is definitely going to be represented well. And yeah, this is a fight that neither guy is going to take lightly. None of them are going to think this is going to be an easy night, and because of that they're going to train like this isn't going to be an easy night. This is going to be like a tremendous fight. The undercard for this is going to be very interesting as well, but I'm looking forward to it. They was talking about doing watch-alongs and live events. I've told everyone you will not see me at any of those because I will be in attendance come hell or high water. I don't care how I manage to do it, whether that's through press accreditations, as I've been offered from a couple of other channels, or whether I just go as a supporter of Craig. I will be there. I will be very close to ringside as well. But I'm going to leave that there for now. Like I said, breakdowns and prediction videos and how I feel fights are going to go, that's all going to come closer to the fight. But I'm riding with Craig, and anyone who don't like that, so be it. But yeah, thanks for watching. I'm gonna leave this one there for right now. Hardcore Casual out.